So this is how I build a P&L on a car wash. You know, obviously due diligence. Obviously due diligence is so everything's subject to due diligence here. But I make it very dummy proof. I make it simple. I don't want to put financials together. This is basically just what the owner told us the numbers are. And this is something I just send to the buyer. Do your due diligence based on these numbers. Once we get into an actual due diligence, then you start your real due diligence, right? This is important to do. So he's doing about 1.3 million a year in sales. We dove in a little bit. I pretty much, because I own car washes, I know the numbers. So if he tells me he's doing 200, 250 cars a day on a busy day, I can look at the car washes that I have and I can say, okay, if he's doing 250 a day, he's doing, you know, an average of $30, $35, he's doing about 1.3 in sales. I already know that. But I would ask him that if I didn't know that. So he doesn't have membership though, right?
He does.
He does. Do you know how many members he has?
I do not know. He used to have like 80,000, I think so, for the membership, but now he said the numbers are much lower.
Oops. Yeah. I would just take it out for now.
Processing, where we put in money into the computer as a check, and then they just pass it on their card and they charge the client. So it's pretty much like we don't pay something. And then the fees.
All right. So let's just start from scratch. Gross revenue is 1.3 million. This is so dummy proof. I just do it like this, just in a regular Google spreadsheet. Payroll. So he's got about, you know, 12 to 15 guys there. Less?
Less, and he has 2 managers.
Let's just make it higher. So 8 people in the car wash business is let's just say 1,000 a person right now in this environment, Suffolk County.
450,000 a year.
Yeah, so about 8,000 a week, so about 400 to 450 a year. Let's just say 400 a year. And we're gonna confirm this with the seller.
So he was showing like the end total from like last week, it was like 9,000.
Payroll? Well, last week was rain.
Like whatever it was with the buyer.
So 400 into 1.3 is like 25%. That's pretty good. I like to be a little conservative. I think it's a little more, but let's just say 400. We're gonna have to verify this with everybody.
Yeah, that's what like I'm waiting for him. Like I said, I would push it. I did call him, I did text him today, finally responded that. I'll make sure this was okay.
So no worries, and we'll get everything. But I'm gonna go through all the expenses that we need in the car wash business. Chemical/soap. We need that expense. We need.
With the valuation of the business lower, like how much lower without the property? Or he wants to sell it with the property?
You want to sell it with the property. I'm just writing all the expenses down in the car wash business so everyone knows.
We started learning about car wash systems at the event, the expo in Atlantic City. They're like, we do a car in 2 minutes versus 4 minutes, so you push more cars through.
Yeah, that makes a big difference. Repairs and maintenance.
Utilities, water.
Utilities, electric, water. So electric. So for Suffolk County, there's a cesspool charge as well, because there's no sewers over there, so they got to pump out the water. So that's an expense that we need. Garbage, gas, water, electric, repairs and maintenance, credit card fees, real estate taxes. That's included in.
Owner's pay.
Sorry? Owner's pay, yeah, that owner's compensation. So Monica, we need to get all this information. If he can't give you a P&L, I would just call him up and say, hey, can you please tell me around what your chemical bill is? Can you please tell me around what your insurance bill is? You know, we can look up the real estate taxes. You know, we do this work in the beginning.
Okay.
We throw it into ChatGPT. We say, ChatGPT, you know, put me out a nice email with these expenses and send that to the buyer. And that's it. And then it's such a hot commodity, car washes. You know, you can basically get offers just from showing a spreadsheet in the car wash business, because a lot of it is cash in New York. So it's so weird. Like I've sold probably 70 car washes in my career, and I did it like this. This is the only way you're gonna do it. You're not sending tax returns. You're not sending P&Ls. we're making our P&Ls. You know, and then the buyer is gonna have to do their on-site due diligence to make it happen. So with Johnny's, it's a great deal, it comes with the property, it's a big building. There's no membership, there's a lot of potential. I would make it express, honestly. So the difference between express and full service is express, you have 2-3 employees, customers do all the work. Full service, you're gonna make more top line, but you're gonna make a little bottom line. So that's how I run these deals. Like, I would put together all these expenses, I would come up with the bottom line net income, I would throw it on ChatGPT. I would say, please send me an email to a buyer that I'm selling this car wash. Please send an interesting email with all the numbers to a buyer that I can use as a template to send to other buyers. Is going over, I'm gonna test everybody here. I wanna see where everyone's at. Because, if anyone gets 100, I'll be surprised. Because we need to just get better and better and better. I mean, right now we're amazing, we're closing deals. I have to get better, everyone has to get better. We have to get better at evaluating deals, we gotta get better at taking listings, saying no more. It's very important to say no more. Our time is valuable. People need us more than we need them. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get started. I'm gonna pull it up on my phone. I want everyone to take a notebook out, something they can write with. First of all, how was Arizona? Anyone that was there? It was great. We got a couple of people in the Owners Club here right now. If you're in the Owners Club, raise your hand. I just want to know who's here from the Owners Club.
I am. Or the zero down.
Or the zero down. How are you?
Awesome.
Nice to meet you.
Love it.
Awesome. What's your name?
Brian.
Brian Fenoff?
Yep.
Nice to meet you. And then we have Mondo over here, right?
Yes, sir.
The man. I met him in person and we just hit it off. He's awesome. He's looking for businesses. He's an absolute gentleman. Here we go. All right, so everyone take out a notebook. I want to know where everyone's at. I'm going to ask about 20 questions, and let's get started. First question, number 1, and everyone on Zoom, have a notebook ready and take these questions down. What does an LOI stand for?
Letter of intent.
Whoa. Let's write it down. I'm starting easy. All right. What does NOI stand for? No one say it, just write it down.
Net operating income.
Oh my God.
On Zoom, just right.
Someone just said? Oh. What does UCC stand for? What does a MIPA stand for? MIPA agreement, MIPA. What does getting an AU 196 mean? AU 196. Which type of agreements do we do more? MIPAs or APAs? Which NDA do we send to the sellers? Our regular NDA or an MNDA? And then which NDA do we send to the buyers? Our regular NDA or our MNDA? Which agreement allows the seller to sell his business to a family member or anyone in his circle? An exclusive agreement or an open agreement? So again, which agreement that we have allows this business owner to sell to one of his family members? An exclusive agreement or an open agreement? What's the type of agreement, what agreement is called, which type of agreement is a sliding scale agreement where it's tough for us to get 10%, but this is another type of agreement that we do. It's a 10.987% agreement based on performance of the purchase price. What's that called? That's okay, we got a few more. And then we're going to go into evaluations. What is it called when a notice is filed in a registry of deeds warning all persons that title to the business is in litigation? So when you check a business and something pops up, what's that called? What's the difference between a note and a performance note? This is an easy one. What does EBITDA stand for? Okay, last question, then we're going to go into evaluation questions. How do you structure on a deal accounts receivable when you're doing the deal? How do you structure it? You know, say there's accounts receivable. Say we're selling an MRI practice, right? And they have accounts receivable. how do you structure that with the seller? You know, there's money owed to them, accounts receivable. How do you put that into the deal? Okay. Now I want everyone to write down how you would evaluate the following. Multiple of EBITDA or multiple of gross, however you think. Bagel stores. What's a bagel store worth? Pizzerias. All right, I have more questions, but let's stop there. No, actually, I might as well finish. It's only a few more questions. In your opinion, everybody, what are the 3 most important considerations in evaluating a business? 3 most important considerations evaluating a business. Write them down. What are 5 advantages of buying an existing business than starting a business? Give me 5 advantages of buying an existing business than starting a business. Everyone on Zoom, write them down. Okay. What are the 3 most important factors to know a buyer is real? 3 things that kill deals. I want you to write down the entire high-level process from a deal A to Z on what you think. So, A, getting the business for sale. B, C, D. Write down the whole entire process from A to Z on how you think a deal gets done. Everyone give me a thumbs up when you're done so I know. All right, take your time. Just shout out if you know the answers. What does an LOI stand for? What does NOI stand for?
Net operating income.
Sorry?
Net operating income.
Net operating income. What does UCC stand for? Uniform Commercial Code. Yep. What does an AU 196 mean? Anybody?
It's for the taxes for the state.
So what is it?
Has to be sent to the state.
Is that the
Sales tax. Is it the sales tax certificate? Sales tax certificate.
Get in there? Okay, so what the A196 is, it's a form from New York State that you send to the state when you're going to close a business, and you have the buyer's information on there, you have the seller's information on there. It gets sent to the state checks it. If there's any sales tax owed, the state sends a letter back saying that there's sales tax owed that has to get paid. If there's no sales tax owed, they send back a release, releasing the seller, so everything is clear, ready to close. Every single deal has to get done that way, and that's a very important part when you're closing, to line that up. Does anyone have any questions about that?
Okay, you said New York State. Is that very specific New York State, or do many states work?
Every state, I believe every state.
has it very similar?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you do that, you close the business, the lawyers handle that, correct?
The lawyers do, but I think we should. I do in all my deals. I handle the whole thing, the whole process. What I do is I have a connection, and so anyone else, it would take 7 to 10 days for the state to give them the answer. I make one call. They'll fax it over to me right away.
So in any deal,
In New York. In New
as
York.
any deal's contracts are signed, we should say, hey, let's
Let's do it, because sometimes it takes 7 to 10 days. Sometimes the attorney's like, no, I'll handle it. It will take 7 to 10 days to come back. So once a contract is signed, make sure that that AU-196 is being sent. It's very important, or else you're going to waste time. You can delay a closing.
How long does that take?
Typically 7 to 10 days. So for your deal, I don't know I think Brian might have done it already.
Yeah.
But hopefully. This is all good stuff. This is stuff where, what is MIPA? Who knows what MIPA is? Membership interest purchase agreement. So it's a stock sale. So when you buy a business, most of our agreements, to answer the next question, are APAs, asset purchase agreements. What's an asset purchase agreement? An asset purchase agreement is when a buyer starts their own corporation, buys the goodwill, buys everything that's allocated in the contract, the lease, the goodwill, the tangibles, the intangibles, with their own LLC. That's an asset purchase. They start their own. A stock purchase, or a MIPA, is when they buy the corporation, and they buy the membership interest in that corporation.
Do you advise that?
Sorry?
Do you advise that, like, people, because aren't they taking on, like, the liability from that corporation?
Exactly. So they're taking on the liability. You could do a lien search, but there's ways that people can still have liens on. You know, a lot of the bigger deals, they do membership. Like I'm closing a $65 million pharmacy right now for 3 years, about to close, thank God. The way we did it was the MIPA because there's a lot of good tax savings that way. So a lot of the bigger companies are doing it as a MIPA. Which NDA do sellers sign? MNDA. And the buyers sign? Which agreement allows the seller to sell to his family member or relative?
Both of them, the open, they don't have to pay commission.
Yes, exactly. Exactly, yep. No, wait, what did you say, Michelle? Both of them?
Well, I mean, those just have to pay commission if they have the exclusive, right?
They have to pay, if they have the exclusive, they have to pay no matter what. If their brother buys it, if their family member buys it, anybody buys it. If it's an open, they could sell it to their own people. But no matter what, in an exclusive agreement, we're tied up. We tie them up no matter what.
So Michael, they can sell it to their family from that, or they can't?
They could sell it to their family, but we still get paid if we have an exclusive.
Okay.
If it's an open, we can't. Which type of agreement is a sliding scale agreement? What's that called? Does anyone know?
Earn something?
Is it graduated?
Yep. Lehman scale. John got that? Oh, Chris. There you go. The Lehman scale method. Lehman, L-E-H. This is a very good strategy when you're dealing with a seller that doesn't want to pay 10%. You get them to pay 10%. You tell them, put your money where your mouth is. What do you want? You know, if the business is worth that. So, you know, at 10 million, 10%. At 9.5 million to 10 million, 9%. At 9 million to 9.5 million, 8%. At 8.5 million to 9 million, 7%. And you get a scale. And there's other ways to do it as well. What's it called when a notice is filed in the Registry of Deeds warning all persons that title to the business is in litigation? Close. Close. List pendants. What's the difference between a note and a performance note?
It's a self-finance.
Yep.
Performance note is, depending on the business, if the number hits an exact number.
Exactly.
Otherwise, you reduce the.
Exactly. So just what Sam said. A note is just a seller financing note. Every month, this is what it is. A performance note is if they hit certain strides, then they get paid. That's how private equity structure deals. They do deals as a performance note because a lot of times they get what they want, which is not to pay the seller. What are the 3 most important considerations in evaluating a business? Someone tell me.
NOI.
Okay.
Gross cash flow.
What else? Besides numbers, what else? What else?
Property included. Length of lease.
Good, everyone's saying the right answers. So what I have down is I have track record, which is basically, you know, your numbers, management in place, you know, if the business is absentee, if they have a management in place, and location is really important. Location. Those are my 3 best. Okay, a couple more questions. What are the 5 advantages of buying an existing business than starting a business?
Make money from day one. Existing cash flow.
Existing cash flow.
Established customer. Employees.
Established plan, what else? Give me some. Goodwill, what else? Reputation.
Known weaknesses,
Yep,
like you can find things to exploit.
yep.
Recurring revenue.
Recurring revenue. Other things that I have, you get free training by the seller. That's very important. You're inheriting the customers. You're inheriting the vendors. You don't have to make new relationships with the vendors. You have trained employees. You have a lease in place. You know, another big one is the build-out cost. If you're buying a restaurant for 50 grand, 100 grand, it costs that person hundreds of thousands of dollars to build. Operations, systems, those are other things that I have down. 2 more questions? 3 more questions? What are the 3 most important factors to know a buyer is real? This is really important, guys. Because people are, proof of funds, number 1. With their own name on it. Don't look at a POF with a date that was dated last year, with a different name on it, with, you know, that's fudged. You gotta also, this is very weird that I'm saying this.
Proof of funds, what are examples?
I like a bank statement, but this is very strange. I know how to read bank statements very well. I really zoom in. If you see numbers and letters that are like a little off, there's professionals that try to get you. I've caught so many people. And you will just waste your time. It will really just take you through from a rabbit hole. So that's one thing. There's other things too. What else? There's a lot. Experience, okay.
If there's a local brick and mortar, they're going to take the time to go see the business discreetly.
100%. They're going to go there. They're going to spend time. What else?
The questions they ask.
The questions they ask.
How about how quickly they get back to you?
That's huge. That, you know, their willingness and their response, the way that they respond to you. If they don't respond back to you quick, one big thing that I look for indirectly is consistency. If someone is inconsistent with you, if they say something and they don't do it, no matter what it is, it could be the dumbest thing in the world. It could say, yeah, my wife worked at, you know, Cornerstone Bank, and then you find out she didn't. You know, little things like that, really, you catch people. People that lie, they have to always remember what they said. So, how quickly they're looking to move.
I got a question. So, if I'm selling a business and do you ask for proof of funds before you set up a face-to-face?
It depends, right? If I'm talking to a guy like you, I'm not, because I know you're real. I know you own salons. You tell me the salons that you've owned. You've been in business. You're willing to meet. You answer the phone. You call me on the weekends. You call me at night. I'm not going to ask you for proof of funds. If I'm dealing with someone where, you know, it's a little strange, I'm going to ask you for a proof of funds. So everybody is a deal-by-deal case. In the beginning, yes, you want to ask. You don't want to piss anyone off. Like if someone were to ask a guy that owns 100 hotels, I want to see a proof of funds, and you can just look him up and see that he owns it. You'd be like, get out of here.
Or private equity.
Or private equity, you could see, if you go on someone's website and you just see a landing page, and the landing page looks terrible, and you're like, what deals have you closed? Tell me the deals that you've closed. And they can't tell you deals that they've closed. Oh, but I'm in private equity. What deals have you closed? What do you own? I can't. I don't give, anyone can say they're in private equity.
You remember like that one that you thought they weren't real and they ended up being real?
Which one?
You thought they weren't real and they ended up being real?
Yeah, that happens too. You thought they weren't real. I mean, that's why you got to exhaust all engines, but you don't want to waste your time too much. You know, if there are red flags, there's always another buyer out there. This is a great topic to go over. And I'm going to do live calls with buyers so you understand how I vet them correctly.